A real financial safety net is built long before any crisis arrives. A strong emergency fund isn't about luxury, and it isn't about keeping up with anyone else. It is about creating a protective wall between life's uncertainties and your long-term dreams. A $50,000 emergency fund may sound ambitious, but for millions of Americans, it becomes achievable the moment they shift their mindset from short-term consumption to long-term stability. The journey starts with redefining how money flows, how goals are structured, and how a person prioritizes their financial security. Every emergency fund begins with one realization. Security comes from ownership. When you control your savings, you control the outcome of tough moments, medical expenses, sudden home repairs, job transitions, family responsibilities. These are real events that don't wait for permission. They appear without warning, and they test financial discipline. A well-designed emergency fund ensures that you can face challenges without derailing your entire financial roadmap. The first step is clarity. Before saving a single dollar, define what the $50,000 represents. It is not investment capital. It is not an income tool. It is not meant for risk-taking or rapid growth. It is a stability reservoir. Think of it as the financial equivalent of oxygen. Invisible when everything is fine, essential when things go wrong. Once this mindset is locked in, your behavior around saving changes automatically. You begin to see this fund as a non-negotiable foundation of your financial life. To build a large fund, you must work with numbers that make sense in the real world. Start with your basic monthly expenses: housing, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, essential medical costs, and critical family responsibilities. Add them up. In many American households, these essentials range widely depending on lifestyle and city. But this is not about the perfect number, it is about accuracy in your own personal situation. When you know how much it truly costs to live for 1 month, you can understand how big your safety net should be. Now take that monthly expense number and calculate how many months of coverage of $50 Zero Fund provides. Some people will get 6 months, others will get 10. In high-cost cities, it might cover for all 5 months. The goal is not to compare, your goal is to create a cushion that ensures survival, stability, and peace of mind without needing to liquidate assets or take on new burdens. This is why a $50 emergency fund becomes a powerful shield for American households. It is large enough to carry most families through a significant disruption, while still being within reach through disciplined planning. Once clarity is complete, the next step is structure. A goal without structure collapses at the first distraction. To reach $50,000, you need a system that channels your income into savings consistently, predictably, and automatically. Automation is one of the greatest strengths in building a large emergency fund. When savings occur without emotional decision-making, you eliminate hesitation. You also eliminate the pressure to be perfect, even if the amount is small. Consistency beats intensity. Many Americans make the mistake of starting with an unrealistic jump. They attempt huge monthly deposits without adjusting lifestyle patterns. After 2 or 3 months, the pressure becomes unsustainable and the plan collapses. The smarter approach is to begin with a number that fits comfortably into your current structure. This is not about sacrifice, it is about alignment. You adjust your monthly habits slowly and intentionally so that saving becomes a natural extension of your routine rather than a forced obligation. A reliable method is to divide your goal into phases. After the first phase, your next target could be $15,000. This is the point where many people begin to feel a sense of genuine security. You experience the emotional shift from financial vulnerability to stability. It becomes easier to continue because the fund now feels meaningful. You also begin to understand your spending patterns better. You identify leaks, unnecessary costs, and lifestyle habits that no longer align with your long-term vision. This self-awareness is one of the most valuable rewards of building a large emergency fund. Once you cross $25,000, you're halfway to your target. At this stage, many people reconsider their progress and adjust their strategy. Some increase their monthly contributions because the excitement of progress motivates them. Others maintain the same pace because their structure is already working smoothly. The key is not speed, the key is sustainability. Your emergency fund should grow in harmony with your income, your responsibilities, and your life's rhythm. One of the most important principles in this journey is separation. Your emergency fund should never mix with your general checking account. It should be in a dedicated place that is accessible, but not tempting. Accessibility is important because the purpose of the fund is to support you quickly when life demands it. However, the fund must also be psychologically distant. When the money is not in your everyday environment, you are less likely to touch it impulsively. This one structural choice can protect your progress for years. As you continue building the fund, your lifestyle gradually shifts from reactive to proactive. You no longer panic at unexpected bills. You no longer fear temporary job disruptions. You no longer worry about sudden life events that used to cause financial shock. The emergency fund acts as a buffer that absorbs instability. It allows you to maintain your strategy for long-term growth even during chaotic periods. In a world where many people struggle to manage even small disruptions, having a $50,000 safety net sets you apart. A strong emergency fund also influences your psychology of ownership. When you know you have a robust cushion, you can make decisions with greater clarity. You can evaluate opportunities without desperation. You gain the ability to say no to options that are not aligned with your long-term goals. This sense of control positively impacts your career, your investments, and your personal life. You navigate with confidence because you operate from a position of stability. Your journey toward a $50,000 emergency fund is not just a financial process. It is a transformation of mindset, behavior, and priorities. It reshapes how you view money and how you manage your financial environment. As you continue toward your target, you become stronger, more disciplined, and more prepared for anything life may bring. A powerful emergency fund is not just built through saving, it is built through strategy, structure, and disciplined decision-making that aligns with long-term stability. Once the first half of the journey is complete, the next stage requires deeper refinement. You already understand the value of ownership, consistency, and clarity. Now the focus shifts to optimization, how to make your system smoother, how to protect the fund, and how to accelerate progress without sacrificing balance. The core of this stage is control. People often fail to reach large financial goals because money leaks through small cracks they don't notice. These leaks may be emotional spending, inefficient habits, duplicated costs, or unnecessary commitments accumulated over years. At this stage of building a $50,000 emergency fund, the goal is not extreme frugality. Instead, it is about strategic realignment. Each dollar needs a purpose, each expense needs justification, and each financial decision must support stability rather than weaken it. Begin by evaluating your spending patterns with complete honesty. Look at the past 60 days and categorize every expense. Most people discover that 20 to 30% of their spending is uncontrolled or misaligned. This realization is not about guilt, it is about awareness. Once you understand your spending behavior, you gain the power to redirect money toward your emergency fund without stress or unnecessary sacrifice. This stage of awareness can single-handedly accelerate your progress toward the $50,000 target. As you enter the advanced stages of building your fund, automation becomes even more valuable. Instead of manual transfers, increase your automated contribution by a small percentage at regular intervals. This creates a natural, progressive structure where your savings grow alongside your discipline. Many Americans use this strategy to gradually build large financial cushions without feeling pressure. The key is steady, predictable growth that supports your life rather than dominating it. Another essential step is protecting your environment. A strong emergency fund loses its effectiveness if it is constantly under threat from lifestyle inflation. As income rises, people often upgrade their living standards without realizing that each upgrade widens the gap between them and financial security. The goal is not to avoid upgrades altogether, but to ensure that every improvement is intentional and aligned with long-term goals. When you maintain a stable lifestyle during growth phases, you amplify your savings power dramatically. Once your fund crosses $30,000, your mindset changes again. You begin to feel the weight of real financial stability. The fund is no longer abstract, it is tangible, significant, and deeply empowering. At this point, you must protect it from emotional decisions. Sudden desires, lifestyle temptations, or impulse purchases can slow your progress. Building the final stretch of the fund requires mental strength and a clear vision of why the fund matters. To support your discipline, anchor yourself to a purpose. Ask yourself what a fully funded safety net means for your life. Maybe it means stability for your family. Maybe it means freedom from anxiety during economic uncertainty. Maybe it means being able to handle major life events without financial disruption. Purpose fuels discipline, and discipline fuels progress. Purpose also helps you stay firm when distractions appear. During this stage, one of the most powerful tools is the concept of the delayed decision. When you feel the urge to spend on something unnecessary, pause for 72 hours. This small rule prevents impulsive choices and keeps your focus on long-term gain. Over time, this habit protects your emergency fund and strengthens your financial resilience. Another major part of building a $50,000 fund is recognizing the difference between real needs and perceived needs. Many financial setbacks occur because people treat short-term desires as essentials. When you sharpen your understanding of this difference, your decision-making becomes more rational and grounded. This clarity ensures that your resources flow toward goals that offer real value, rather than fleeting gratification. As you continue progressing, the next step is income optimization. A large emergency fund grows faster when income is stable, structured, and diversified. You do not need multiple risky ventures or complicated financial systems. Instead, you need consistency. Even small additions to your monthly cash flow can dramatically shorten the time required to reach the $50,000 mark. This could include additional freelance work, skill-based projects, professional overtime, or specialized services that align with your strengths. Income optimization is not about chasing quick money. It is about building reliable income channels that support long-term stability. When you create even one new income source that contributes directly to your emergency fund, you build momentum that compounds every month. The psychological effect is powerful. You feel more in control, more prepared, and more confident as your financial safety net grows. The next stage involves monitoring. Many people reach $35,000 or $40,000 and lose focus because the end seems near. This is the most dangerous moment. The excitement of progress can create a sense of comfort, which leads to relaxed habits. To prevent this, review your progress every month. Track how much you saved, what helped you save, and what slowed you down. This monthly check-in keeps you accountable. It reinforces your structure and protects you from complacency. As the fund approaches $40,000, you enter the psychological phase known as the final climb. This is a unique moment. You can see the target clearly, and the temptation to speed up or slow down becomes equally strong. Some people push too fast and burn out mentally. Others relax too much and delay their progress. The balanced approach is to maintain your pace with calm, collected consistency. This keeps your system stable and ensures that you reach the final goal without stress. At this level, you should also begin reinforcing your financial boundaries. These boundaries protect your emergency fund from unnecessary withdrawals. A strong boundary is a simple internal rule. Only true emergencies justify using the fund. Not frustrations, not inconveniences. Only genuine situations where the fund fulfills its purpose. This protects the fund's integrity and ensures its strength when you truly need it. You may also consider categorizing your emergency fund mentally. Some people divide it into segments: medical support, job transition support, home repair support, family assistance, and personal emergencies. Even if the money stays in one place, this mental structure helps you organize your thoughts with clarity. You understand exactly what the fund is meant to protect, which strengthens your commitment to preserve it. Crossing $45,000 is a transformational moment. You have built a financial foundation that most people never achieve. You are now operating from a position of strength, stability, and control. The final steps require patience and focus. Every contribution, no matter how small, brings you closer to full security. At this point, visualize the final milestone. Imagine the confidence of having a fully formed $50,000 cushion. Imagine the calmness during unexpected situations. Imagine the freedom to make decisions without financial pressure. Visualization is a powerful reinforcement tool that keeps your motivation strong and your discipline intact. The final $5,000 often feels slower because the finish line is so close. But this stage builds maturity. It teaches patience, strategic discipline, and emotional stability in financial matters. These traits will support you long after the emergency fund is complete. Once the fund is fully built, your financial posture changes permanently. You operate with stability that many people dream of but never achieve. You become the kind of person who does not panic during uncertainty. You become someone who makes decisions confidently, because you are backed by a large safety net created through discipline and ownership. A fully funded emergency reserve becomes a silent partner in your life, always ready, always protective, always strengthening your future. It guards your long-term goals, shields your financial plans, and supports your journey through uncertain times. This fund represents not just money, but years of discipline, focus, and strategic decision-making. A $50,000 emergency fund is more than a financial goal. It is a transforming force that reshapes your outlook, stabilizes your life, and empowers you to navigate the world with clarity and confidence. The process shapes your character, strengthens your resilience, and prepares you for a future built on stability and control. You have now completed the full framework, the mindset, the structure, the discipline, the system, and a long-term perspective needed to build and protect a $50,000 safety net. This is how real financial strength is created, step by step, decision by decision, and habit by habit, until stability becomes a permanent part of your life.